welcome to the first ever cooking with Diamond. We've done dining with Diamond, eating at hotels. I'm way overdue to make some more of those, but I've been cooking, that's why I haven't been at the hotel. So I'm about to do a chicken wet fry. Chicken in Kenya we call it kuku. Kuku. Yeah. And cabbage and ugali. So I washed my hands, getting the chicken cooked. This looks like we have here, I think this is a half chicken, a 1/2 chicken. It's a little bit frozen still, but not bad. Now I have yet to be in a Kenyan house that has an electric stove. If you're in Kenya and you have an electric stove, say something in the comments so we can applaud you. But I actually like cooking on gas, and in Kenya that's what we're cooking on. So here, gas can, right there. Same exact one I have in my house in the coast. The exact same one. Here we got some local cooking oil. Oh no, it's not local. It's Egyptian. We have Egyptian cooking oil. The company is Flora Frying Solution, made in Egypt. United Oil Processing and Packaging. I don't know what SAE means. Comment if you know. Made in Sharkia, Egypt, and distributed from Nairobi, Kenya. So we do find some Egyptian products here in Kenya because Egypt's really not that far away. Fun fact, Nairobi, Thika Road Superhighway is, oh gosh, I don't want to mess up the facts, but I think it's the longest road in Africa, if I'm not mistaken. But I do know that it goes all the way to Egypt. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it goes all the way to Cape Town. That's what I read like 3 years ago, so. We're gonna cook with these. We're gonna put this on the kuku, and we're gonna put in the inside of the cabbage kidogo, small. We're gonna put just like 1 or 2 in the cabbage. The rest we put in the chicken. And we call this cayenne pepper in the US. Here they call it pili pili. Salt as I go. One thing about here in US, I stopped using salt when I cooked. I might have added table salt like on the plate, but our food is so salted there and preserved that I just found it unnecessary to add salt, you know? So I mostly was cooking with black pepper and other various seasonings. But here, the food we're eating, even with the chicken, it's straight from the farm. Whether it's GMO or not, it's never been frozen and sent all over the country in freezer trucks like we have in the US, right? So there's not all the preservatives and salt content. So here I always add salt for sure. If you don't, the food might be a little bit boring. I really had to learn a lot about cooking on these gas cookers, and the one I have in Coast is super hot. Like, you can't leave something sitting that long in a burn. It's different cooking with two burners like this for sure, but it's kind of the common way. And then some people are cooking with one burner, which is quite impressive to make a whole meal with one burner. I've had many meals around the country made with one burner. And maybe even no power. Maybe there's a power outage and the chef keeps cooking with a flashlight in their mouth or a cell phone light. The one thing about Kenyans is they know how to survive, which is really admirable, because the first time I saw that happen, I just thought if this was an American, they would have just said, all right, no supper tonight. Or they would have ordered something from outside, which you can do here. You can order food here from outside. You can order delivery just like Uber Eats is here. And there's some other delivery apps. You can order food for takeouts like that and delivery. But that's a Western thing. That's like a really new concept. And even in Coast, I don't think anybody's doing that in Coast. Maybe in the alley. But otherwise, every Kenyan I know, they prefer to cook at home. You can buy these vegetables in the US and put them in the fridge, your refrigerator, and they still look normal 3 weeks later. That's not normal. That's called preservatives and chemicals. If you do that with the food here, it's going to go bad. So that's another fun fact about quality food. Alright. And before I stir the chicken, I'm going to make sure that the onions and pili pili have enough time to cook on the bottom. You gotta go. Get to that color, we start adding tomato. Tomato. So this one, we're gonna boil the maji. In today's ingredients will be raha, which means happy, doesn't it? Raha means happy. Raha Premium, grade 1 sifted and fortified maize meal. That's corn. Corn is maize. So this is corn flour, maize flour. And we're gonna make ugali. That thing right there. So for this one, we bring the maji, the water to a boil. And once it's boiling, we get to work. Let me clean my stove. So we see how I do it on camera. We see if it's a thumbs up or thumbs down. Don't thumbs up or thumbs down the video. Don't be mean. But you can definitely give it a thumbs down in the comments and let me know where I went wrong. Because also, different tribes have different ways of making the ugali. Like Kikuyus, they like it a little bit more wet and mush. And then like Luos and Luyas like it a little bit more hard. Now I don't know about the other 41 tribes, how they make it. But my point is everybody has a little bit of their own preference in how to do it. But I serve ugali to many different Kenyan people in different tribes, and nobody's gotten sick or died yet. Bado. It's getting there slowly, slowly. You see the color coming. That color is what we're going for. That's the fry. Yeah, very nice. I'm about to try this ugali. I hope I can do it. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. Yes. So the way I tend to do this thing, I used to measure it, but now I just go by the consistency. So I'm gonna start off small. This is how I do it. Everybody's doing it different. I start off small and just get a little bit of a base going. And then I'm gonna pile some on top. Some people just pile it right at the beginning. But I start small. I start mashing those pieces. They start clumping together. So I start mashing them against the side a bit to break them up. Somebody's probably already cussing about I'm doing this wrong. Now I'm just going to drop a pile right in the middle. Still more, because I know I need more still. because it's too thin, very thin. We're gonna make it thicker. It's still thin, but I'm gonna cook this up like it is for a minute, and then I'll add to it. And I'm gonna reduce this heat just a bit. Right now I'm stirring. It's not thick enough yet, so you'll see me do the usual technique in a minute. This is part of that technique right here. If someone in America wants to ask me what the hell this is, I would call it grits. I would call this southern grits. That's what it looks like to me right now. It's very thin. And it could be clumpy. It's like hot cereal, like cream of wheat type thing, except it's maize instead of wheat. So I'm doing that technique. It's still really thin. We want to add more flour. And I'm about to do that in just a second. And you don't let off of it too much. We will once we get enough in there. We'll lay off and just let it cook. Now let's see how that feels. Yeah, it's getting more like it. It's still a little bit soft. It needs just a little more flour for what I like. Now it looks like mashed potatoes. But again, this is not potato. This is corn. This is corn flour. But it's pretty decent. Some people would like it this way, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It all depends on where you're from and how your grandma made it, how your mom made it, how your dad made it. I'm adding just a little bit more flour, and then I'm going to call it good. And I'm going to stir it up some more, and now I'll leave it to cook just a bit without me disturbing it. Let me see if that's enough. I just learned how to do this about a year ago, and I did it on my own. The first one was edible, the second one was a disaster, and the third one was good, and I just continued ever since then. You keep stirring it because you want to make sure that the flour is very thoroughly mixed in. Whenever you're eating this, you don't want to bite into chunks of raw flour. I see the village folk doing like that. You're doing this. And then you'll always give it that stir, like that. It's a little bit smaller than I planned for, to be honest. I should have did this a little bit more water, but it's not bad. I'm pretty well satisfied with it, and I'm gonna just leave it to cook undisturbed for a moment while I check on the chicken. This plate's gonna be for the ugali, and it stays hot for a while. It's okay to make it a little bit before everything else is ready, and then we're gonna put a plate on top of it to keep it hot. Give it another good stir. Now when you look in the pot, you're gonna get these crispy edges. That's because it's cooking. This is the kind of food that after you cook it, you have to soak the pot so that you can easily get that stuff off. You don't want to have to scrape it off when it's dry. You just soak it overnight or for a few hours. It's gonna come right off. So that's my Mzungu Ugali. It's definitely edible. It might not be perfect, but it's definitely edible. You can kind of, you don't have to, again, it's all about your household, but you can kind of bring it together in the pot if you want. That way when you drop it on the plate, it's already in a good solid heap. So we're gonna drop this bad boy off on the plate now. And everybody can tell me, is it a thumbs up? Is it a thumbs down? Would you taste it? Would you not? And what we can do better. That's Ugali. So, you don't have to. You can leave it just like that. Or you can shape it a bit. If you have a smaller plate, it'll help you to shape it. Now this one isn't quite what I would call a luya or luo ugali because it still has a little bit of softness to it, but it's nice. I think it's nice. We'll stick a knife in it on camera so you can see how well cooked it is. So we're gonna cover it. We want it to stay hot. And this sounds like it is cooking now. Let's see how the tomatoes are stewing up for us. Slowly, slowly. Yeah, they're getting there. And you can mash them a bit if you want with your spoon. It's very hot. It's very hot. Yeah, they're getting there. You see how they mash really easy now? Yeah. Those tomatoes are cooking. Yeah, they're definitely reduced down. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I threatened to do earlier. I'm gonna add just a little bit of maji. So, you don't have to. You can leave it just like that, or you can shape it a bit. If you have a smaller plate, it'll help you to shape it. Now this one isn't quite what I would call a luya or luo ugali because it still has a little bit of softness to it, but it's nice. I think it's nice. We'll stick a knife in it on camera so you can see how well cooked it is. So we're gonna cover it. We want it to stay hot. And this sounds like it is cooking now. See how the tomatoes are stewing up for us. Slowly, slowly. Yeah, they're getting there. And you can mash them a bit if you want with your spoon. It's very hot. It's very hot. Yeah, they're getting there. You see how they mash really easy now? Yeah. Those tomatoes are cooking. Yeah, they're definitely reduced down. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I threatened to do earlier. I'm gonna add just a little bit of maji. And I'm gonna replace the lid and just let it cook up real nice. We're gonna leave that sit for a little bit and then we'll be back with the finished results. Right, we're back. And we've had this chicken on a low simmer after adding the maji. I didn't add the chicken stock, the broth. I forgot to add it, but it doesn't really matter. If you got a cat, give it to your cat. They'll love it. Let's see what we got here. That is it. It's looking nice to me. Yes, yes, yes. Only thing missing is black pepper. It's a little bit scorchy. I could have added a little bit more maji, to be honest. That's the one critique I see right now. But more than anything, it looks like it tastes really good. So I'm satisfied. It's definitely not soupy. It's not soupy. Soupy, when I think soup, I think runny, like maji. Whenever I think stew, I think like this. So we got a stew instead of a soup. Carefully. Let me give this cabbage one last stir. We're just reheating it at this point. And it's far from overcooked, so I think we're in good shape here. I really like how the cabbage looks. If you put some ham inside of this, some pork, even chicken right on top of it could be really nice. So there we go. And now, let's check our ugali. Here we go. So they say the test is how the knife goes through it. More so how the knife comes out of it. And there's my knife. A little bit stuck, not too much. I think it's good. Give it a thumbs up, give it a down. Not on the video, but in the comments. Be nice to me, huh? So, the customary way is you cut the ugali all the way around. But I've had other Kenyans tell me that it's a sin to stick a knife into ugali. So again, it depends on where you grew up, which tribe you came from, how your family looked at it. But there you go, there's your ugali. And I'm gonna prepare my plate just like this. And this might be blasphemy to a Kenyan, but this is cooking with that diamond Flix. So I'm just gonna put that cabbage right in the middle. I don't do big servings. You guys in Kenya, they like to do some really large servings sometimes, but for me, I like to have just enough to make sure I'm satisfied. If I want more, you come back for more. And that's just how the game goes. We call it seconds. If you want seconds, you come back for seconds. So there's a piece. Now a lot of times when you got a chicken, you're gonna find necks, even a butthole. You're gonna find some anatomy of the chicken that we're not used to in the West. This half chicken we had is just all nice pieces of meat, so I think we're lucky here. I'm going for 3 pieces because I love chicken. I'm like my grandma. And the Luya tribe is known. They're famous for loving chicken and ugali, but they want their ugali way bigger than this and way harder than this. This one's too soft for them, most likely. So I'm sorry if I've disappointed any of the Luyas watching today. I'm sure the Kikuyus are happy with the cabbage. Come taste. And now, if I was working in a hotel, if I was serving you a plate, it would look like this. Yup. That's not enough ugali for the average Kenyan, but it is what it is. Bada bing. This is it. So, ugali, cabbage, and cuckoo stew. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. I'm gonna do a lot more of these cooking videos. I love cooking Kenyan style food. I like putting my own twist on it. I like learning new stuff. If there's something you want to see me try, just let me know, and I'll see if I can put it together, and you can tell me how good or how bad I am. I appreciate you tuning in, and come taste next time, or invite me over. I'll come cook at your house, but you're holding the camera, so? All right, peace and love, Kenyan.